Lama dang go wen jama yan la cha se lo gang ge lu zhi ni din zhen ni zhan dang da la se wei ji ni zhu gen ji xin ji jian di ge tu ba le ba xin ga da zi wei cuan na ma li men du di gen gi ji wei zhi zi gong la bu ji sa ji yan la zhi ji yan da yang dang sun zhi zhi ji de ni me ni lo li ji zhi 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 zi ji ma li men se du ye ni nu gu ji ni ji zi re ji nam Dune de Nanda Jin Sanju Casun Yun Ten Lo Zo Gen Se To Wo Gu Chu Zha Chu Da Chu Ni Gen Jun Da Lo Mun Se Jiang Be Yan La Du Oma Ara Bazan Da Di Oma Ra 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 Bazan Da Di Oma I bow down to you, Manjushri, with the brilliance of wisdom, O compassionate one. Illuminate the darkness and close in my mind, enlighten my intelligence and wisdom, so that I may gain insight into the Buddha's words and text and explain them. I bow down to you, Manjushri, with the brilliance of wisdom, O compassionate one. Illuminate the darkness and close in my mind, enlighten my intelligence and wisdom, so that I may gain insight into the Buddha's words and the text and explain them. I bow down to you, Manjushri, with the brilliance of wisdom, O compassionate one. Illuminate the darkness and close in my mind, enlighten my intelligence and wisdom, so that I may gain insight into the Buddha's words and the text that explain them. And as usual, if people are going on a big journey, if people are starting a new business, if people are starting on a new enterprise, or it's an auspicious day, it's their birthday, or anything of that nature, anything special that's going to go on, and maybe their lama's not around, or some dharma student's not around, and they don't know what to do, then something very auspicious to start with, always, before teachings, before special events or anything, is do Lama Tsongkhapa's Guru Yoga. Very, very auspicious. To recite Lama Tsongkhapa's Guru Yoga, to recite Miksama and finish it. I learned this from the great Mahasiddha, Geshe Turim Gyaltsen in America, who is in his, early 80s now. So it's not something I just thought up arbitrarily. This is something from my gurus. And I used to ask Geshe-la, sometimes we go for big Buddhist gatherings. Sometimes in Los Angeles, there's interfaith and inter-Buddhist gathering. It means Buddhists of all countries and all sects and all backgrounds. They fill up a big hall, and there are monks and teachers from all tradition and nuns. I mean, Vietnamese, Chinese, you name it. The place is just packed. One time I went to one of these gatherings with Geshe Turim Gyaltsen. He went with 3 or 4 of us. And each tradition, before they started their meeting, would do a special chant. So each country had a very special and beautiful chant, and they did their chanting. And some were quite ritualized. Some had bells, and some did it, with bells, staccato. Some people did all types of like rituals, and then it came to the Tibetan tradition. Geshe-la represented the whole Tibetan tradition. I thought, okay, now it's time to show off, because I looked at the other ones that Tibetans are known for long rituals. And I said, okay, it's our time to show off. And I thought, I wonder what Geshe-la's going to do, maybe some yamataka or something, some big mudra, and chant and impress them. And with his memory, with his mudras, with his recitation, with his great chanting, I thought, what is he going to do, because this is our time. I really thought that. I was 17, 18, time to show off. So I sat there like this. The Vietnamese impressed me a little. The Chinese one, not bad. Ding, ding, ding. I thought, never mind, we got a better bell. And so I waited. And Geshe-la folded his hands in front of everybody and recited Lama Tsongkhapa's Guru Yoga with no any type of melodious chanting, just straightforward. And then when he got to Miktama, he chanted Miktama very slowly. And when he finished, he finished the dissolution, and it took him about 10 minutes. I had it memorized, so I recited with him. The other 2 disciples didn't memorize it. So they sat there like, oh, rats, we didn't bring our prayer book. So I was like, and I was very proud and I was reciting. But my voice cracked a little because one part I got mixed up. And I went, I don't know. And I continued. And I remember the whole hall, there was hundreds of people staring at Geshe-la, of course, because he's a master, and looking at me more because who's the twerp? There's this skinny little kid with dyed red hair sitting there chanting away like that. And I was looking very holy because I had my eyes closed. And chanted very slow. I'm not kidding. This really happened with my ego. And so they stared at me. I remember seeing some nuns and some monks, even from the stage. They were like, because it was just me and Geshe-la's voice in the whole place. But I controlled my voice so I don't overpower it. I mean, my ego's not that big to look better than my guru, but I wouldn't anyway. So anyways, I controlled myself, and I remember everybody staring at me like, and I remember somebody asking, who's that kid? Why does he know chanting? Who's that kid? And I remember hearing that as a whisper, or somebody asked, or one of the nuns said, I can't remember. But when I heard that, my ego was fertilized. It grew like weeds. And so when we finished, we went back to the car, and I was acting all humble and nice because I had it memorized, because now I'm holy. So you know how you act when you're all holy. You instead of being more humble, you're like, you show a humbleness, but it's a fake type to invite more praise. And that's what I did as a big mind game. And so when we went out to the car, I went to Geshe-la. I said, Geshe-la, all these people did all these fancy, smancy chantings and all that stuff. Why did you do just Lama Tsongkhapa's Guru Yoga? He looked at me and said, just? He says, the 84,000 teachings of Lord Buddha is planted in the Guru Yoga of Lama Tsongkhapa. All 84,000. If you are a master, you will be able to explain all of Buddha's teachings completely from each line of Lama Tsongkhapa's praise. All 84,000 included. He says, to recite that simple and from the heart and purely will plant seeds in everybody's mind of enlightenment, will bless everybody in the congregation. And he says, what practice is more superior than that? And I thought, oh my God. I shut up real fast. I thought, a Dharma master, a PhD in Buddhist studies, a Geshe Haram of Gaden Shatse, a grand master already in his 70s, who knows the rituals of Tantra, Sutra, and Tantra inside out, who has everything memorized, who can stand in front of the Dalai Lama and from memory make long life offerings. Long verses to recite. I saw, because I went to teachings with Geshe-la, recite in front of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and his voice never cracked because he has no ego. For such a grand master, with hundreds of people, even grand masters of our monastery, when they see him, they prostrate to him, says to me that the most complete practice is Lama Tsongkhapa. And he wasn't doing that for show, because why? At our center, every week, Sunday, we have Dharma teachings. Every week. And Geshe-la was very unhappy if you missed Dharma teachings on Sunday. If you miss Sundays, he was very, very unhappy, because he says, once a week cannot take a few hours out for Dharma. Where's your commitment? Once a week, you cannot reschedule yourself just for Dharma. Once a week. He was very unhappy. And before Dharma teachings, he would do Lama Tsongkhapa's Guru Yoga. Mandala offering, the Heart Sutra, short form, and then he would start the teachings. And then right after that, he would make us do a short few-minute meditation on motivation, and then he would start the teachings. Always. Always. So when I heard that, it made a huge impact on my life. So I followed this tradition of reciting Lama Tsongkhapa's Guru Yoga before anything, following the traditions of the great Geshe Tsudum Gyaltsen of Gaden Shatse, who resides in Los Angeles, who runs a center in Los Angeles, who has many books out already. You can look it up. Geshe Tsudum Gyaltsen, very renowned master of Gaden Shatse. Tsudum Gyaltsen, we should have his book in KP. I saw it. Tsultrim. Tsudum Gyaltsen, Gyeltsen. And Geshe Tsudum Gyaltsen has sponsored the Dalai Lama's visit to the United States many, many times. I would advise everybody to memorize Lama Tsongkhapa's Guru Yoga. Memorize it in English or Tibetan and recite it. The minute you get up in the morning, before you start making calls, before you scream for tea, before you start, thinking, oh, I don't want to meet this person or that person, or thinking about work, or your mama telling you to come downstairs because we have a lot of mama's boys here. Before any of that, just the minute you wake up, recite Lama Tsongkhapa's Guru Yoga. Start your day with the Buddha. It's very powerful. All right?